All right. So, like a month ago, this has been like a month now, I think. I had this tenant that like just showed up on the first of the month. Like he was all pissed off. My door code doesn't work anymore. He's this gay guy and he's just like all fucking pissy and being fucking gay. And you know what I mean? And I'm
I mean,
moving
you
out and
you
you are an asshole. And, da, 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 and I'm like, whatever, dude. Just get the fuck out of my house. Right. So
yeah.
the next day, maybe it was 2 days later. I don't know. I think it was the next day. This cops show up at my house. I'm like, fuck, what are cops doing here? So I go outside and I start talking to them. They're like, yeah, does this guy live here? And I was like, no, he fucking moved out. Like, I think he didn't have the money to pay. He was weird. He kept like bringing homeless people over to use the bathroom. And he was pissed off that I wouldn't let his friends use the bathroom and this and that. And I was like, he works at Walgreens, and I gave him like the place. Normally, I don't cooperate with cops. But I didn't
Eh,
like this guy, so fuck him.
yeah.
I'm gonna give him the work that he goes to. So, anyways, like later on, a couple days later, I'm not gonna say how I found this out, but I found out that he was terminated from his job at Walgreens. So my thought is that he was stealing or something like that,
Yeah.
and he got fired and didn't have the money to pay me, so he got kicked. Anyways, so later on that night after the cops came, I'm sitting out in my hot tub. It's like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and I see like I first I hear my dog barking. I'm like, "Fuck, what's he barking at?" And then I notice, like, I look up because I was watching something on my iPad, so I wasn't really like paying attention around me, and I notice like cop lights in the front of my house. Like, holy shit. I'm getting fucking raided because they didn't believe me that this guy didn't fucking work here or didn't live here
Living.
anymore, you
Yeah.
know? So I'm like, fuck. So I get out of the hot tub and I like go around the corner so I can kind of see what's going on. And I see that they've just got some guy pulled over in front of my house and they're like doing felony stop, bringing him out gunpoint. So I kind of just sit there and fucking record for a few minutes because I want to see if they're going to beat the shit out of this guy or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, like nothing happened. They took him into handcuffs and like they were out there forever, dude. I stayed out in the hot tub for like another hour probably. And I come inside and I like go into my office where I'm at right now so where I can see what's going on and I've got the lights on in my house so they like know I'm awake. And I noticed that one of these motherfuckers, these cops are parked on my lawn. I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing on my lawn?" And it's just fires me up. I'm fucking pissed at this point because there's no reason for them to be parked on my lawn. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. There's no traffic in front of my house. Like the guy's not parked on my lawn, and the other cops aren't parked on my lawn. But this fucking guy's parked on my lawn. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck these guys. I do my shit to get ready to go to bed, and I turn the lights off. And like 5 minutes later, I come out and I turn the fucking sprinklers on them. And I got to watch this guy get sprayed in the legs, and he was fucking pissed, and he's yelling, and he slams the door on the car and gets into the car and moves it off, and I'm just sitting in here watching because it's dark. Like I don't want these guys to notice that I'm watching
Yeah.
because then they're gonna know what's going
Just like
on.
they came on in the middle of the night for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, they were
Yeah.
already on in my backyard, so to
Okay.
them, they're just switching. Who knows if they noticed that they were on in my backyard? But
Yeah.
easily, I could just say, "Hey, man, I had them fucking on already, and you were parked in my lawn, and it was just going through the cycle. So, fuck you. Go dry off at the station, you fucking piece of shit."
I will say that your gay accent, you sound pretty light in the loafers.
Yeah,
Was this practice or lived experience?
yeah. Well, I was a drug
Oh,
addict
you
for a
were in
while.
San Francisco.
Yeah, no shit, right? Dude, he was fucking weird. He was super gay, and like I found some weird shit in his room that like he had like a yoga ball in there that was on like a I don't know, man. He had condoms in there and ugh.
Ugh.
And
That's what the
also,
homeless people were for.
I'm not gonna say how I know this, but I'm sure you could probably guess if you really put your mind to it, but I'm not gonna admit to how I know this. But I did see that he had a HIV test recently as
Hmm,
well. So nice.
yeah. How often does that room turn over?
Um, I've had so in one of my rooms, I've had a guy for like 2 years.
Okay.
So he's been in there a while. This one's turned over a few times, in the past like year or so. I've had another guy that's we'll do a cold open on him in a month after he moves out because I don't want to talk about him and have him walk in right in the middle and have to go, "Oh, sorry, we're done with this." But he will be moving out very soon for
Okay.
reasons that you know, but the
Yeah.
podcast will find out later on. So keep tuning in because
Keep tuning in
you'll
every
have a
week.
fun fucking story with this
Yeah.
guy. He's a
We're
real
we're
piece of
we're almost
shit.
to fall months too, where I can do it more frequently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I fucking I've
Oh,
been
we got to
doing a lot
open.
I've been doing a lot of interviews, so
Oh,
happy to get
sweet.
back to every week with Dan. All right, let's fucking roll. What's going on? It's time for another episode of Too Hard for the Radio, transmitting from the future free state of Greater Idaho. I am the one-armed madman, and back with us this week we've got the great Daniel Steele. Dan,
What's
it's always a
what's
pleasure
happening,
talking
everybody?
with you. You're the man. How we doing? What's going on?
Doing good. I mean, it's funny. It's been so long since we've podcasted, and there's been so many things that happened that, like, I thought we were going to podcast last week, but I forgot my mother-in-law was coming into town, so I couldn't do it. I had like a whole bunch of talking points, and all that's different now.
Yeah, no
I,
shit,
it,
right?
I actually learned things that I didn't know about the Federal Reserve in the last 24 hours.
Dude, I was just reading an article on this. That's fucking wild. I actually took a couple of snippets from the article on Trump and the Federal Reserve because I felt like I had to read them in the podcast because it's so fucking crazy.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. All right, let me pull it up. So, the first one is
Oh, for
this.
everybody, people might not be that locked in.
Yeah, explain it.
All right, so there's this thing called the Federal Reserve. Is before yesterday, all I knew about it was that it's not federal and there are no reserves. But it turns out there's a board of governors.
Yeah.
And so it's not just Jerome Powell making this decision. There's 7 people. And Trump has appointed 3 out of the 7 people. And this woman, I don't know where she's from, according to whatever the allegations are, she
Mortgage
listed her
fraud.
primary residence in Michigan and Georgia within weeks of each other to get lower mortgage rates for both of them, which apparently is a felony. So, in Powell, by every bit of information I can have, doesn't like Trump and is holding rates back because he wants to politicize it so that the commies can get. Sorry, they aren't just commies. Apparently, we're commies now too.
Yeah.
Well, I was never a Republican, but the other side could win the midterms and maybe he could stay in power. But if this was so, Trump wrote an executive order to fire this woman because she's being indicted on mortgage fraud, and her lawyers are saying that the president has no right, not no grounds, no right to fire her. So in the coming, who knows how long this litigation will take, we'll either find out if the president does have a say in the Federal Reserve or not. And then as this gets litigated, it's really interesting because if she is found to not, Trump fired her, and let's say that firing is legit, Powell can then go to prison for keeping somebody who's not a legitimate employee or person on the board of governors. So it's like, grab your popcorn.
Yeah.
We're watching our country get destroyed in real life.
And the whole battle is over interest rates. Trump wants more interest rates, lower interest rates because he wants the economy to be cooking. And
Well, no, we have an enormous amount of debt that has to be refinanced
yes.
this year.
Yes.
And if they don't go down, then we have to refinance at a higher rate, which puts so like the things that to my understanding, with the tariffs are doing very well. Now, there might be inflation on the backside of that we don't understand yet, but it looks like we're pushing towards like $500 billion in tariff revenues this year, and which would be really good for the economy. So if the interest rates go down and we're pushing this tariff money in, like there's no chance that the Republicans lose the midterms.
So are these tariffs, like I haven't looked into the tariffs too much. So like is that $500 billion coming from other countries, or is that coming from American companies that are paying the higher rates to import shit?
It's coming from goods that are manufactured overseas. So could be Apple, could be Alibaba.
Yeah.
It's
Companies
just
that we
goods coming
fucking
in.
hate, and who cares if they have to pay
Yeah.
extra to get their
Yeah.
fucking cheap
Yeah.
products in. That's the way I look at it anyways. So, here's one of the quotes that I've got. Politically attacking the Federal Reserve probably doesn't cost Trump anything with his supporters, polls suggest. A Gallup poll from September 2024 shows the central bank enjoys far stronger support among Democrats than Republicans, even before Trump's attacks. Only 19% of Republicans rated the Fed's performance as excellent or good, compared to 48% of Democrats, although partisan divide mirrors opinions for other federal agencies. So, A, nobody knows what the fucking Fed is because that's the whole game. You don't want to know what the Fed. And even the Washington Post is calling it a federal agency, which, as you said, it is not.
Well, so that's where it comes into question because in the 19 whatevers when this was made there were rules written that gives the government oversight, just nobody's ever flexed the oversight. There's never been a governor ever fired once from the Federal Reserve, but according to whatever Congress passed back in the day, the president should have jurisdiction over it. So we're going to find out if he does or not.
It's interesting. It's
Yeah.
really interesting. So here's the other quote that I pulled up. So this is quote, "The independence of any central bank is critically important," Lagarde said. And Lagarde is the head of the European Central Bank, said in a Fox Business interview that aired over the weekend. "We have to be accountable. We have to report back and answer all the questions of either Congress in the US or the European Parliament for me. But it's vitally important that the central bank is independent." Of course they want to be independent because they want to control. Isn't it crazy that like you said, there's 12 governors on the board of governors.
Is there? I thought
Essentially
it was 7.
seven, you're right. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Seven people decide monetary policy for the entire fucking world.
Yeah, and one thing that was interesting in the way that I read it was you know how Trump appoints people to like Secretary of State, DNI, whatever. These are nominations. So, or not just Trump, because most half of the people, or 4 out of 7, sorry, 3 out of 7 were nominated by Biden. Powell's been through Obama, Trump, and Biden. And then the other 3 were nominated by Trump, but nominated, not appointed. Which is, I wonder if there's much nuance in there.
Well, I think what happens is he nominates somebody and then they have to be approved through Congress and the Senate is the way it
Okay.
goes.
Oh,
But
so Rubio would have been nominated, not appointed,
yes,
but they can appoint judges and shit like that without.
they can.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
it's we have a fucked up system, right? And like I don't know, I'm not an economist. I've got an economist coming on the podcast here in a couple weeks, so hopefully we can get some answers out of him on this. But like the problem with Mises has this example of like a low interest rate economy where you have a master builder who gets all of his materials to build a building, and then 90% of the way through, he realizes that he doesn't have enough materials to finish the building. So during the time that he was building that building, it looked like a lot of things were happening. People were working, stuff was getting built, but in the end, it was all for nothing, essentially. And like that's what a low interest rate economy is they're cooking numbers, things are looking like they're going fast, but in the end, like it's just cheap fucking loans for the worst people in the country and causes more inflation. So I'm not sure. Like I wasn't aware of the refinancing of the debt aspect of it. So like I don't really know how that comes into play. I guess with a lower interest rate, you can refinance that debt to where it's the payments are lower on it.
yeah, yeah. So right now, our payments and interest on the national debt are, last time I checked, $1 trillion.
It's as much as the military budget, I've heard people
Yeah,
say.
until we do the Golden Dome. Um, so they were close to $1 trillion. What was interesting was when a lot of debt came due when Biden was in office, and I'm pretty sure they knew he was going to lose, or they had Powell in the back pocket. So they had the opportunity to refinance this debt on a longer term at a lower rate, but instead they did short term financing on it to drop this fucking bomb in Trump's lap.
That makes sense, dude. This has been my theory for years now that they let Trump win this time because they couldn't cheat in the same way that they did last
Because they
time.
couldn't kill him,
Yeah, they couldn't kill him. They tried to do
couldn't put him
that.
in prison.
And the whole plan is to destroy the fucking country while he's in there so they can teach the American people a lesson for electing a fucking criminal, an outsider, somebody who's not part of a, not a politician because we have to get the adults back in charge type of thing. You know what I mean?
Which I like that was my opinion for a bit. And now I'm undecided because now we've turned into a socialist country that takes equity in companies. Like we took 10% equity in not Nvidia, in it Intel. So the people that put the chips that go in our computers that can listen to us, the government owns 10% of it now.
Yeah. That's
And
fucking
they're
crazy.
looking for equity in Palantir and all of, so like that's very socialist. And then we're gonna just like also tear up the First Amendment.
Yeah. Fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So it's like that argument of Trump is this fighter for freedom and the people kind of looks like that's what happened, and fight, fight, fight. And they tried to kill him, they tried to imprison him. And then he's just passing worse socialist laws than Harris would have. Harris wouldn't have gotten equity in a company. She would have just got drunk and let who let Powell do whatever. I don't know. I don't know
yeah,
what Harris would have done. Probably would have made for better content, but
probably it would have been more fun. Biden made for great content.
yeah,
He was fun, you know.
yeah, he was.
The whole flag burning thing, like, it's never offended me. I don't fucking care. Like, to me, it's a stupid symbol that doesn't represent what it's supposed to anymore. Like, I was talking to my buddy about this last night, and he's like, I'm not into flag burning. I'm like, I'm not really into it either. Like, but at the same time, I don't care. And like,
Yeah,
imagine if you would have got it, like drafted to Vietnam or your son got drafted to Vietnam, you would be fucking furious. And you would, like maybe want to burn a flag because they're burning fucking children in
yeah.
napalm for no fucking reason at all except to fight communism, which was always a ridiculous bullshit excuse. And like, I, and he was like, who's doing it now? And I'm like, I don't know, probably people who are protesting immigration and Gaza. And he's like, yeah, well, I don't really care about those things. And it's like, well, dude, you got to stand on principles. Like,
Yeah.
you have to
I don't
let these
care.
people do
You
it
have this right.
because you may want to do it someday for a reason that you find to be legitimate.
Yeah. And the tinfoil hat in me says that there's a couple of there's a flag of one country where that has a religious symbol on it, and a federal judge ruled that it was a hate crime to burn that recently. And I feel like this is kind of like covering up those trails because, like, uh, we bombed another hospital yesterday. We can't be having this talk about our flag either. Or, sorry, it was a terrible mistake that they mistakenly fired bombs into a hospital full of reporters yesterday.
And
And
those reporters were being used as human shields.
yeah, absolutely. And by having these silly issues like flag burning become a thing in the news, it wouldn't be so good if it was only that one.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. It's,
But I mean, that's probably that's a hate speech.
it and that's the whole point, right? Is they do not that country does not want any type of resistance to what they're doing, so they're going to do everything in their power to make it illegal for you to criticize them.
Which they're not overly represented and don't have too much power.
Absolutely
Next
not.
topic.
Absolutely not. Oh my god. Did you see any of Massey on Theo Vaughn a couple of weeks ago? People just
Oh,
lost their fucking minds.
I'm so far behind. The only time that I watch podcasts now is business podcast. Like sometimes get Dave Smith in, but that's about it. And
Yeah.
he didn't even pod yesterday, so I don't even know how to think this week.
I haven't watched a podcast in a while. I've been
Yeah,
doing motocross podcasts. I'm into that shit, but like I've been
nice.
out on podcasts for a while. I've been watching a lot of predator catching videos, which are very entertaining.
My favorite part of the clips that I see is the dudes are beating up the predators, but they wouldn't be able to beat up anybody in real life.
Yeah, those
It's
are
just
funny.
those predators are such weak men that they have to prey on children. And these guys are doing like WWF moves and fucking jump kicks and shit. And I'm like, I haven't been in a fight since my 20s, and I could whoop that dude's ass.
Yeah, they're slapping them and
Yeah.
shit.
The kicks are, it's like they're out of breath after throwing 3 kicks.
I watched one today where this old man who was living in a garage was like asking some 14-year-old to marry him. And it's not a 14-year-old. She's like a 20-year-old, and she's good looking.
Yeah.
And it's like, what in your mind makes you think that this young, good looking girl wants anything to do with your disgusting ass? Like, I don't know
I
what goes through these fucking people's mind that makes them think that like this is a real thing. It's so crazy, right? Like,
I was talking to my wife earlier about how body dysmorphia is pushed more into women on the West Coast, especially the closer to LA you get. And then I was thinking about like maybe the women in the Midwest could use a little body dysmorphia. That's what I said to her. But then I was thinking about like the dudes that I knew. These were like not good looking dudes, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I could fuck Heidi Klum or whatever."
yeah.
And same thing. Like this guy living in his garage thinks that this 9 or 10 would hook up with, and like in some world in his head, he thinks that that's what he deserves, while he lives in a fucking garage.
Dude, and it was a gross garage, and, like,
Yeah,
dude, they were showing, like, pictures of his bed, and it's, like, a disgusting bed that's dirty and gross and, like, sweat stains all over it, and he, like, brings a fucking $100 ring from Walmart to, like, propose to this fucking girl, and, like, I I've tried internet dating. I have my as my father used to tell me when I was a kid, your standards are too high for what you have to offer. And like I I am not willing to go to the places that are willing to have me, if that makes sense, right? Like I'll go and I'll do the matches on I have standards still and I'm not going to
yeah.
like screw some disgusting bitch just because I'm, you know,
It's a good thing you don't drink that much.
yeah, exactly, right? And so like I get that like I'm, not a catch by any means, but compared to these fucking guys, like I'm, not too bad. And like normal looking women want nothing to do with me. What I just it really doesn't make sense. A lot of these immigrants are coming over here and like every time I watch one of these fucking videos with some immigrant that can barely speak English, it's like get the fuck out of our country. Like we don't want you here. It's such a fucking disease, like a tumor in our country. Like you see these Indians. Did you see that Indian guy who like did a U-turn in his fucking semi truck and killed like 4 people or something like that
And
recently?
got 2.5 million signatures on a petition to let him go.
It's
There's also a Indian guy in Canada. There's a video of him shitting himself and the poop coming out of the back, like his ass crack in his jeans. And he's offended that the Starbucks employee is asking him to leave.
yeah, I sent you that video. Dude,
Oh
that is
yeah.
fucking wild. He's just shitting and it's overflowing out of his
Yep.
pants. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, these
The world
people are
is his
dirty
toilet.
and
What's wrong with that?
disgusting. And why are we letting them into our fucking country? Like, this used to be a proper country. When I was growing up, like, we had like an 80% white school that I went to. And there was a lot of Mexicans, but like the Mexicans weren't gross. They were
Yeah.
farm workers and agricultural workers and like they kind of had their cliques and they were, I could have done without them, but it wasn't like destroying the school that I went to. It wasn't
Yeah.
destroying the town that I lived in. They were just kind of there, you
Yeah.
know? And now it's like, dude, I was watching Kill Tony last night and there was this like I don't know, she was Mexican or something like that, and she was from Canada. She's like, "I'm the only brown person in Canada." I'm like, "What the fuck town are you living in?" Because that place is overran with Indians. Like, I've seen the videos where people are walking down the street being like, Where are all the fucking white people? You know?
Yeah.
I remember a couple months ago, I saw this video of a woman in Ireland, and she's, a white, redheaded Irish girl, and she's like crying on the video saying,
Gross.
My 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 daughter is the only Irish person in her class, and she's confused why she gets made fun of for speaking English.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that English.
Yeah, that's a good point. For speaking Irish.
If you're speaking Irish. My buddy, very ginger Irish guy, but he grew up in America. He married an Irish tap dancer, and it took him like 2 years to put the wedding together so that her family could get over here. And I got fucking smashed at their wedding. And I kept trying to have the Irish people explain to me how they died from a potato famine when they were surrounded by fish, but nobody would have that conversation with me.
Oh, shit. Did you ever watch the movie, Michael Collins?
No.
It's pretty good. It's about, like, the IRA and the war and all that shit. It's got Liam Neeson in it. He plays this
That's
guy.
not even the Irish, that's the North Irish,
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it was a good
which
movie.
I don't understand.
No, I don't get it anymore either. I watched the movie. That's the extent of my knowledge of that war.
The thing is, I really like Irish people, like the time that I've spent with them. But I love taking the piss out of them. I'm hopeful that Conor McGregor becomes president of Ireland.
Is he still
He's
going at that, or did he give I
Yes.
thought he gave
Yeah.
up.
Nope.
That's awesome.
No. Yeah.
He's got fuck you money. Why not? You know?
Yeah.
That is like the one good thing. Well, there's other good things about Trump, but like that's one of the great things about Trump is he's like, "Hey, I've got fuck you money. I can do this and I don't give a shit if you don't like
Yeah.
it." And that should embolden other people to do it. Like Manny Pacquiao did it at one point. He was like a governor of some
A
fucking
governor. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he went into it. You know,
Could you
Schwarzenegger's
imagine a little coked out leprechaun sitting in the EU meetings?
yeah, that'd be so fucking great. Just talking shit. Like,
Bro,
oh,
I watched a video of him beating up an old man for saying something out of the side of his mouth to him.
yeah, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, but then go do that in the EU Parliament or
Yeah, what's
whatever.
her name? The chick who's in charge of like the European Commission. Oh fuck. Ursula von der Leyen. You
Yeah.
could just be talking shit to her. Actually, one of the best EU people in the EU, I don't know her name, but she's like a socialist, but she's a socialist that hates the fucking state, which doesn't make sense. It's kind of like a Jimmy Dore socialist where they are really good at pointing out all the problems, but their solution is just more government. But she
Yeah.
is great at talking shit.
Yeah. I do not know who that is, but if you see any videos of her, send them on
Yeah,
over.
it was on a podcast that I used to listen to, No Agenda podcast. They would play her a lot. I stopped listening to them because they went, when this whole like Dave Smith, what's the other guy's name? The guy who does the podcast now with Scott Horton. Fuck, I don't remember his name. The historian guy that was on Tucker that got a whole bunch of shit. Anyways,
Oh, yeah.
their take on that whole situation was they just hate Jews. So I stopped listening to that podcast.
So no agenda has an agenda.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And it's just wild. Like, I don't know how any object and like they were great on COVID and they're great on a lot of other shit. But once they did that, I just couldn't listen to it anymore. It's like, okay, well, you guys are fucking low IQ fucking morons, apparently, because and they were just like running clips on Scott Horton and Dave Smith and talking shit about him. And I just couldn't fucking do it anymore. At one point they called like Ryan Dawson a Fed. And that kind of annoyed me because I don't know, maybe he is, but like it's just such a low IQ take that, oh, if you know, have something to say about that country that we were talking about, you're just a fucking racist or something.
I don't have anything to say about them.
Yeah. Yeah. What else?
um, I, I had dinner with my wife earlier. We ate like 4:30 for some reason, and the song "You Ought to Know" by Alanis Morissette came on,
Hmm.
and I got to thinking about this because this song was apparently about Dave Coulier. You know who he is?
No.
He was the other uncle on Full House, not Uncle Jesse,
Oh.
and It's like some of the words are like, every time I scratch my nails on somebody else's back, I hope you feel it. And I'm like, how hung is this guy? I'm gonna say he's so goofy. I just sent you a picture
I
of
know
him.
what he looks like.
Yeah. Like, well, that dude just must sling the dick.
I
He had a
guess.
whole ass song made about him about it's so unfortunate that you broke up with me and I can't stop thinking about you. But in other terms, and man, that goofy motherfucker just must have been slinging it.
Must
Yeah,
have.
it's just a tangential thought.
That album, Jagged Little Pill, is not bad.
Hmm,
She's pretty good.
absolutely not. Yeah.
She's pretty good. She's got a weird voice, which I I don't mind. Like you can really tell like that she's got some emotion going, you know? Kind of like
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks in a way where like her voice isn't great either, but she's so good that you don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, she's just making ocean spray commercials now, right?
Is she really?
Oh, they're the Mexican dude drinking ocean spray playing Fleetwood Mac on a skateboard that went viral for like a year.
Oh, I don't remember
You
that.
didn't see that? Oh.
No.
Yeah, it's just a dude on a longboard playing some Fleetwood Mac, drinking ocean spray. I don't even know that it was an ad, but it went like tens, if not 100 million views of this video. It was
Wow.
just fucking everywhere.
I've listened to the album Rumors probably hundreds of times. Like
Oh yeah. It's a great fucking
we used to
album.
party at this like we called it the phone booth. It was like this parking lot that had a phone booth in it. Like that was when you drove out to the lake that was like right near my house where I grew up, there was just this old parking lot that had a phone booth in it. And like there was a gate that they would close at night so you couldn't go to like the day use area at the lake. And we used to party out there and, like, I would have my stereo on in my truck, and we would just listen to Rumors fucking over and over again. We listened to a lot of classic rock when I was growing up. Like, it's kinda crazy that, this was in the early 2000s that we're still listening to albums from the '70s.
Yeah, would Creed be classic rock now?
Yeah, I think so. I like Creed.
Ugh. Yeah,
They're okay. I don't listen to
yeah.
them, but, like, I if their songs come on the radio, I don't turn it off.
It's just weird to think that that's probably classic rock now.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like Zeppelin would be oldies.
My parents were into rock. Like, my mom listened to a lot of, what did she like? She liked, fuck, I'm drawing a blank on them, like, Alice in Chains and shit like that, and they got really into, like, Three Doors Down and Matchbox 20, and, like, that shit's
Oh,
old now too.
yeah, Rob Thomas and, Santana did it. Santana did a
Yep,
whole album of collaborations,
yep.
but the most popular
Smooth.
song was "Smooth," and that was playing as we were, like, leaving dinner.
That's a great song.
Yeah. So
He's
that
fucking good.
album's actually pretty fucking good.
What's that? Rob Thomas? Yeah,
Mhm.
he can sing. He was
No, no,
good.
no, no, the Carlos Santana album where he only
Oh,
did
yeah, yeah, I've
he
listened to that album before. I don't remember any of the other songs on it, though.
yeah, he did one with, like, Wyclef Jean. It was like it wasn't just like, "Hey, here's my lane, I'm doing it." It was like, "Hey, I'm an artist, and I like these other artists, and we're gonna make some cool shit together." I haven't listened to it in well over a decade either, but it prob if I went I'd probably turn it off if I listened to it today, if we're
Probably.
being honest.
Yeah, probably. But
Yeah.
Smooth is a great song. Like
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
knew a guy in San Francisco that claimed to be friends with Carlos Santana and like we would always have these like bonfire beach parties down on the beach and he was always telling us that Santana was going to show up and he never did.
Oh, wow. Were you
But
just leaving too early?
I don't think so. I think the guy was probably lying, you know.
No way.
I met him in
No way
AA.
somebody got fucking drunk at a beach party and lied about knowing Santana.
I don't know.
Is Santana even from fucking San Francisco?
I think so. These guys were like it was actually a cool group. It was an AA group that I got hooked up with, and they were all deadheads. And like they knew like what was that guy's name? Phil Lesh, I think. Is that the drummer for the Grateful Dead? I don't like their music. I think they fucking suck. There's a couple of their songs that I like, but for the most part, like I'm not into it. But during
Oh yeah,
the
he moved there from Mexico as a child.
okay.
So
So during
you probably
the
know him. You left too early.
so like during the I think it was like the 150th year anniversary of the Golden Gate Bridge. The drummer for the Grateful Dead like went onto the bridge and just started like banging on it with different things. Like he would bang on the rails and the cables and different parts of the bridge and then they would record the sound. And so
Yeah.
he made like a scaled version of the bridge and then played it like an instrument. It was pretty
Oh,
fucking cool.
cool.
It was actually like the coolest fireworks show I've ever seen in my life. They closed the bridge down, which they never closed the bridge down.
Yeah.
And like when they started the fireworks show, they did a golden waterfall from the bridge. Like all it was just falling down into the water. I'll send you the video after the
I
podcast. It's fucking
I
it
hope
was
R. Kelly
rad.
got to witness that one.
It was cool though. Like there was some cool shit that happened when I lived in the city. The Giants won 2 World Series. I got to see a couple riots. Like that was fun. You know, I
Oh, they
never.
riot when they win in San Francisco too?
Yeah, they did. They burned some buses. They burned some cars down, flipping cars. Like it was most of it was just people partying in the street and just not letting cars through. But like there was one spot where I was on like Post Street and there was a four-way intersection and it was just dude, there was like 6 inches of glass. There was cops lining like all sides of the intersection and people were just throwing bottles into the street. It was pretty cool.
You know, when those things happen, you hear about like the occasional arrest. So there's like 100 people throwing glass bottles and shit, and two chumps were dumb enough to get arrested in that
Yeah.
group, and they're like, "Look, we got him.
So
Order is restored."
we used to go to this racetrack in Washington when I was a kid, and, like, the first year that we went there, they weren't allowing alcohol into the track, and it's like, "What the fuck?" Like, we all showed up, and my parents and their friends all had a bunch of fucking beer, and dude, they were just dumping fucking alcohol out on, like, on the side of the road that you were going into on the track, and we found out that, like, the year before that there was a riot, so, of course, everybody just snuck booze in. Like, you
Yeah.
just had to get and then we found out the next year that all you had to do was bribe the homeless people that were acting as they were the guy like, the people that you went and checked in with and checked your motorhome and shit were homeless, so you just gave them a 20 and they just walked out. So, anyways, like, the first
Oh, I
year that I
oh,
was
go ahead.
there, there was a riot because everybody was drinking and there was cops fucking everywhere trying to enforce no drinking throughout the thing, and it just pissed everybody off. It was like, "Fuck you, leave us alone," and there ended up being a riot, and I was, like, probably 15 or 16 at the time, and me and my buddies got fucking hammered one night, and we just went up and, like, hid on a hillside, and we were just throwing rocks at riot cops for, like, an hour, and they'd get pissed off, and they'd fucking shine their lights up at us, and we just moved to a different spot, and then at one point, they shot tear gas at us, but they weren't even close to where we were at. It was so much fun. Fuck
I
cops.
I I went to a music festival at the beginning of the month, and the first year I went, there was like a big storm. They had to pull every car in one by one. So we waited like 17 hours at the gate to get in, which sucked. Second year, so but they didn't check us. They just like literally towed our RV with a tractor, got us to a spot, went to the next car. Second year I went, they started checking like the carts when you pull up to the stage, which was fine. I had a bottle of champagne. We had to like run back and put it in a water bottle. And then this year, we got an RV and then I drove my truck in. And, I have my everyday carry. And then I also keep a pistol in the glove box in a holster for when I'm at my land. So I can just wear something on my hip in case there's a coyote or a mountain lion or something. And I look over and they're going through people's glove boxes. Shit. I'm like, oh, we're fucked. So I like sneakily reach into the glove box, throw the gun in my bag, and I saw the security guy go into the RV to check it. And like as he's coming out, I'm like, "Hey, can I take a piss in here?" And the security guard's like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." So like go and stash my guns and shit in the RV. And so we had probably the homeless guy. So he walked up to my buddy who was driving the RV in, and he's like, "Hey, I'm supposed to act like I'm checking this. I'm gonna come and use your air conditioning for a minute, and then I'm gonna walk out of here." My buddy's like,
Yeah.
"Okay," and then that was it. But I
Yep.
was like sweating for a minute.
So I think it was like the third year that we went, the homeless guy wasn't having the bribe. And they were
Oh,
like, we still hid everything as best we could. So like my dad just being an asshole because he decided to make like a false compartment. And so we had like bins that went all the way under the motorhome. And so
yeah,
he like put it was pretty funny. He took like floor jacks because we had to use floor jacks to jack up our motorhome. We didn't have hydraulic jacks like mounted underneath it. So he had
yeah.
like 8 floor jacks. So he put like four on each side of it. He like jacked them up and then he put stuff behind that. and behind that, and behind that, and it was just this huge pile of crap, and then right in the middle was just a pallet of water bottles. So they, like, had to, take out all these floor jacks and take out all this shit, and they finally get in there, and it's just fucking water bottles, and we're like, "Yeah, fuck you."
We went to a festival 2 or 3 years ago in Northern California, and it said no alcohol. You can only buy it at the bar, whatever. They were taking the alcohol and then they were just putting it in the green room for the artist.
Oh, nice.
So we're watching them just like gank alcohol from everybody. And this dude comes in the RV. He's like, "You have anything in here? I know you have something in here." I'm like, "Yeah, I got a 6 pack of beer in the back." He's like, "You have more than that." I'm like, "Yeah, I have 12." He's like, "All right, my name is Church. You can see it on my arm. It says CHURCH. Bring me a beer later." And he let us through.
That's funny.
He fucking spelled it out.
You couldn't remember your name, so you tattooed it
Yeah.
on your arm.
Yep.
That's beautiful. What a fucking douchebag.
How's the garden going?
Good. I've been eating a lot of tomatoes. Man, I got these little red cherry tomatoes that are just fire. You know
Oh,
what?
I'm gonna send you some fucking seeds next year.
Hell yeah. I was doing some yard work yesterday and I found I have strawberries growing in my front yard in, like, just a gravel area that I have on the other side of a fence, probably 40 feet away from my garden.
Were you just like chewing a strawberry and threw it over there?
I have no idea. I have no idea how they got there. I'm thinking it was probably birds, but
Okay.
who
Oh
really
yeah,
knows for sure? I haven't had a
that's how it
problem
spreads, right?
I haven't had a problem with birds this year. Like last year, I had a problem with birds and moles and voles. Like I think I told you, like these moles like destroyed the whole underneath of my garden, and it was just a
Yeah.
nightmare. And I thought I was gonna have to dig everything up and like redo it and find a way to keep them, but they haven't showed up this year, and everything's kind of just settled back into normal. So
Yeah, we had
happy
a
with
real
that.
vole problem last year, and we had a lot of erosion in the raised beds. So this year I put chicken wire down and then I put new dirt in,
I was
and it
gonna do
was
that.
fine. The strawberries that you sent me, we maybe had four in like spring, early summer, and they're sitting in like this planter. I think it just gets a little too hot. And I was like, "Oh fuck, we're not gonna have any this year." And then we're getting a little resurgence right now. So I actually harvested one of your strawberries yesterday, and I'm gonna pull the seeds out of it and then put them. I now I have 3 hydroponic systems in the house. Um, and I'm gonna put it in the new one. It's a the first one we got was just like a little one to grow canna in, and it's just like kind of dirty and shit because I don't take care of it. The second one we got is like three three layers, and it's flat with like maybe 24 holes in the top. And we had a really bad aphid infestation. I'm like, fuck this. I'm getting the vertical one I want. So I have a vertical one. It's just like a tube with like little holes
Yeah,
out of
I
the
saw it.
side.
That's
And
cool.
there's 72 holes in that. Um,
You want me to send
got
you
rid
some
of
more starters?
Oh, no, no, I'm gonna harvest those seeds and pop them, so we're good. But I'm also gonna keep the 3-layer one because the reason I hated it is because it's so hard. It's 10 gallons per tank, and you have to like pull it apart, take it over the sink, and dump it out. But I just got a fish pump, a fish tank pump, so now I can just suck the water out without having to do all that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's fucking sweet.
So my hope is to not have to go to the grocery store in the winter for vegetables.
That'd be nice, right? Like, I get used to the strawberries. I love they're so
Yeah.
good. And, like, I would like to have them throughout the winter or even,
Yeah.
like, in this lull in the summer because I think I should have another round coming in the next couple of weeks because it's starting to cool down again around here.
How hot was it up
Oh,
there?
it gets into the hundreds here, you know?
Like recently?
Yeah. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
it's
we hit
probably I
our
think
high.
today it's, like, 90, and
Oh
it's
wow.
supposed to be it's 85 today. We've actually got some, like, some cool weather coming in. It's supposed to rain in the next couple days, but we haven't been below 90 for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, we had like the hottest day of the year while my mother-in-law was here, and then we got a cool spell. It was like down in the 50s last night,
Oh,
which
wow,
was
that'd be
nice.
nice. It's fucking
Oh, the
hot here at night still. Like, I sit out in my hot tub and I just sweat like a fucking pig, which I don't mind because it's good for you to sweat some shit out. And like, I
yeah.
sit out there for like an hour or two and just, I like it when it's cooler and I don't fucking sweat my ass off because it's more comfortable. But I don't really mind sweating a little bit to get the fucking poison out of me.
Yeah, that festival we went to the previous 2 years, it was around 100 during the day every
That's
day.
brutal.
Yeah, this year it didn't get over 84. There were a couple of days in the 70s, and it was just, like, fucking perfect, and it only, like, drizzled, it didn't rain very hard, and I don't think we'll get that weather again anytime soon at that festival.
The closest track that I grew up to when I was racing dirt bikes was in Sacramento, and dude, it would get 110, 115 there. It was just brutal fucking hot, and
Yeah.
I would go and ride there all the time, like, at least a couple times a month. Once I started racing, we would go to different cities that had different tracks, but they were all hot. It was like Hollister and Turlock and Sacramento, so it's all in the hundreds, you know? And we would go up to Washington, and I remember the first year that we went up there, everybody was complaining, "Oh my god, it's so hot, like, it's gonna be so hard to race," and it was like 90. And for me, it was like, "Fuck, dude." It was like 88, 90, and for me, it was like, "Dude, this is fucking awesome." And
Yeah.
everybody from California just smoked all the locals because
Yeah.
we're used to 110, 115 degrees at Hangtown, so we show up there, and it was just dude, and everybody was so mad. Like it was one of the spots where they really hated Californians and they hated that we would come up there and win. But like we had a really competitive series in Northern California and we had a lot of really good riders and we would just destroy people up there. And I loved that track. Like I grew up riding in the mountains and I didn't start racing like motocross until I was like 15. So I was really good in hills and like technical stuff. And the track up there has big hills and it's just super technical and like it's fast, but not as fast as like I wasn't great at the really flat, fast tracks, like where you just had to turn your brain off and send it. Like that was not my style. I liked the slower technical stuff. I liked big deep ruts and fucking gnarly shit. And I would always do better when things got gnarly and steep and deep. And like if you've got a big downhill, I'm gonna destroy you because I grew up going down hills where a lot of guys like grew up on tracks that didn't even have hills at all. You know?
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, dude. I remember like we went out to this track in Sand Hill. It was called Sand Hill, and it was in Oakley, California, which is a shithole. But we would ride there during the week. It was actually the closest track to us, but it just wasn't a good track. And I used to ride out there with some really good riders, guys that were a lot better than me. And one week we went out there and the track was just a mud pit and we couldn't really ride on it all that much. So we were just riding in the areas around it. And we found this big steep hill climb. And like I just motored up this hill like nothing because I was good at hills. And there was this guy who was a really good racer that was out there with us that had never done anything like that before. And dude, he was flipping his bike over backwards and like bent his
Nice.
subframe and destroyed his pipe.
Oh, not in a good way, not doing,
Yeah,
like, a
no,
sick
dude, it
trick.
was
Yeah.
fucking like he was just getting destroyed. And he was so mad that I was able to climb this hill with no issues and he just couldn't get up it. It was like one of the most satisfying things I'd ever done on a bike at that point because like this guy was so much better than me at motocross. And I just fucking motored up this hill like nothing on a bike that sucked compared to his.
And when it rained, did it really fuck things up too?
Oh yeah. It gets gnarly when it rains. Like we were at this track Hangtown one weekend. It was for the national. Like I never the national at that track was always on like the 20th of May. And that was when like our homecoming and or not our homecoming. That was when our prom was. So I never went to prom in high school because I would rather go to dirt bike race than the prom. And like one weekend it was like 110 degrees. And then during the pro race, like so they would race amateurs on during the week, and then the pros would come and race on Sundays. And
Mhm.
it just after the first moto, it just opened up and started fucking pouring, and they probably got like I don't know 3 or 4 inches of rain in a couple hours. It just went
Oh, wow.
monsoon, and dude, like people are up on top of this really steep hill watching the race, and I remember people were just eating shit on the way down, like as they're walking down, just eating shit. And we're talking, dude, like on the track, ruts that are like this deep that are just full of water and guys just plowing
They
through.
just fucking suck your tires in, don't they?
Yeah. People were getting
Yeah.
stuck on the track. Some guys blew their bikes up because either the clutch would overheat and you would blow your bike, or you would suck in so much water that it would just fucking die on you. It gets, I was not great in the mud. Mud's tough. And there is nothing more punishing than doing like a 30-minute motocross race in the mud. By the time you're done, you're just fucking dead.
Yeah. Sounds rough.
What else?
I think that's seems like a good place to end.
Yeah, we can stop now if you want. I don't fucking care. Are
Yeah,
you do you
my
got
brain
any
just
more
shut off.
festivals you're going to this year?
No, I think we're one festival a year now. We're just so busy. Joey's doing a really great job running. Sorry, my wife is doing a really great job running the supplement company. I'm doing deals in England and Australia. So sometimes I have calls at 5 in the morning and sometimes I have calls at 9 p.m. So she's really taking care of the house and taking care of me, and business is going really well. So
How's it so happy's rocking and rolling, huh?
yeah, we are going to announce a deal very soon on a more of a wellness focused brand with one of the leading doctors in psychedelic therapy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then, so when you go to a smoke shop now, most of the things that they sell are either Farm Bill, like Delta 8, THCA, shit like that. This really strong kratom. It's almost like synthetic. It's
Yeah.
stronger than heroin, and then fake mushrooms. They're like, we have Amanita mushrooms, and then they put DME in there. And that's what's getting you fucked up is like
Mm.
synthetic DMT. And RFK is cracking down on a lot of that. And then the THCA, all that shit, a lot of states are starting to ban it. So there's a lot of shops looking for a product like that. So it's all coming together
Fuck
really
yeah, dude.
nicely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did a podcast earlier today with a guy that is he has this like brain supplement that he's selling, and it's a
What's it called?
derivative that I don't remember what it's called. But anyways, it's a derivative of aloe vera. Like
Okay.
I guess there's this thing in aloe vera. I can't really explain it. It was over my head. But he did a bunch of like trials with it for people on with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah.
And according to him, like it just destroyed every medication on the market. And he was like
Oh,
fired up. He's like, dude, we're gonna fucking like save
he's gonna
people's
get
lives.
murdered soon.
That's what's happening. Yep.
Yeah.
He 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 was kind of disillusioned into thinking that like the NIH and the CDC and all these people were gonna help fund his research because his papers were like he did actual trials and shit on it and like had great results and just nobody wants anything to do with them. So he's going to send me some samples. I'm going to try it out for a couple months and then we're going to do another podcast and
Oh,
see
sweet.
see how it works.
I'd like to hear more about it.
Yeah,
And then also I was talking to
I'll send
one
you
of the
the
people.
link to the
Oh
site.
yeah, for sure. One of the people that we buy plants from in South Africa. I was talking to him late one night, and he was at the plant medicine market or whatever in South Africa, and he asked, what's something that people come back and buy all the time. I'm not going to say the name of it, but the lady said the name of it, and he goes, "Why?" She goes, "Because it makes you like this." And so I started doing research on it, and I was able to get the .com of the technical name of it, which is crazy. You can't buy it. You can buy it on eBay. You can't really, but it's not like for sale
Yeah.
in stores here. And somebody started doing a clinical trial with it, and they just stopped. And the findings from the last clinical trial was it was outperforming Viagra on rats.
Wow.
So my guess is that they got that like, hey, we're better than Viagra and it's natural. And one of the big pharma companies came and bought them.
Yeah.
So I'm really I bought some seeds. We can't get them to pop. So I'm and the guy that I buy shit from South Africa is not there right now. But I'm really hopeful on that one. I want to do all the clinical trials and have fucking Pfizer be like, hey, we want to give you $1 billion to just shut the fuck up.
That'd be nice,
So
right?
yeah,
Yeah, just
yeah,
buy you up and then get rid of the website and
yep,
fucking get rid of everything. That'd be sweet, right?
yep,
You know, I've always been under the impression, and like when I was talking to this guy, he was like, people just think aloe vera is something that you put on your skin, but like it has this thing in it that if you take a lot of it, it's fucking great for you. But the problem is you'd have to eat like fucking pounds and pounds and pounds of aloe
yeah,
vera every day because it's mostly water and you have to like synthesize it or whatever to like get this derivative out of it. And I was like, you know what? I almost would bet money that the natives figured out how to do that in some way
yeah,
at some point in time because I've always been under the impression and even more like since I've got hurt and like dealt with doctors and big pharma and all this bullshit that like I think everything that we need to be healthy and happy is available on this planet in some form or another. We just have to figure out how to utilize it properly.
Yep. It's so did JD Rockefeller's dad, but they called him a snake oil salesman.
Yeah, right? Fucking piece of
the
shit.
the plant, hopefully we're able to like cultivate it and bring it, but it's the roots are what makes your dick hard. And then it also has healing properties like aloe vera.
You know
It's
those
another
natives
succulent.
figured it out, man. They had
Yep.
fucking 100,000 years to experiment with shit. And,
Yep.
like, they fucking erased native history in this country purposely for a lot of different reasons, but, like, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the reasons was to get rid of those plant medicines.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
as they were doing it, like, pharmaceutical companies were getting bigger and were able to do these synthetic drugs and shit like that, and they're like, "We gotta get rid of this shit. We can't have the natives teaching people how to go out into their backyard and fucking be healthy when there's billions of dollars to be made."
Yeah, then maybe people stop paying interest.
Yeah, no shit, right? It's fucking these people are they're snakes, man. I'm interested to try this stuff. I've actually got an appointment with my, Alzheimer's doctor later this week, so it'll be
It would have been
interesting.
funny if you couldn't remember that word.
I almost forgot it. Did you hear me go, like, with my, I've
Alzheimer's.
actually I think I've gotten a little bit better since I stopped smoking pot,
Yeah.
which is good. I didn't think it was actually gonna affect me, but, like, at one point, I was like, I like watching these YouTube videos on, like, science and futurism and aliens and shit like that, and I at one point, I was just watching the same ones over and over again because I couldn't remember them anyways, so it was like a new video every time I watched it, and I kinda stopped listening to audiobooks because, like, I would have to go back every night and, like, read a couple of chapters over again because I would completely forget where I was at. And like
Yeah.
right now I just read like went through 2 books, actually 3, 4. I'm on the 4th one since I've gotten back into it again and it's been good. Like I found a series that I like right now. It's about like Atlantis and cool,
Okay.
aliens and shit like that, which is what I'm into, like
Yep.
I'm into politics and shit too, but like my guilty pleasure is like aliens and sci-fi and shit like that. And I
That's
hope
fun.
that, I would really hope that like movies get back on track soon because I haven't watched TV in a long time just because
Well,
every time I watch a movie, I'm like let down by it and it sucks. Like I watched did you ever watch that movie The Quiet Place?
no.
It was okay.
Almost every time that you say, "Did you watch that movie?" I
The
can
answer's
almost
no.
definitely say no.
I
But
watch sci-fi
what I'm
movies from
hopeful
time to time.
for is, did you see that Candace Owens is trying to free Harvey Weinstein?
I did.
I know, and then movies could get good again.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, man, I watched this fucking movie, like, this The Quiet Place is about, like, these aliens that can hear, like, really good, and if you make any noise, they just fucking kill you, so you have to be quiet and walk around, and it was a John Krasinski, is that his name? The guy from The Office? And
Yeah.
it was a pretty good movie, it was kinda
Dude,
there was
how
kinda some
jacked is that motherfucker?
Huh?
How he's so jacked.
Dude, he was
He played
jacked
like
in
a
this
spy.
movie. He was
eh,
huge.
He played a spy in like a TV show or maybe like an
Jack
Amazon
Ryan.
thing. Yeah, Jack Ryan.
The 1st season of
Whatever
that
happened
was
to
really
that?
good.
Yeah.
But, like,
I
yeah, you're right.
did
He
did they
got
get
fucking
canceled?
No, they did another I know they've done at least 2 seasons, and the last one that I watched wasn't very good. They kind
Okay.
of got into, like, propaganda. Like, it's a show about the CIA, so it is propaganda, but, like, it was the 1st season was objectively good. Like, there was some really intense scenes, like, he had this black dude with him that was, like there was this scene where, like, they were talking to some terrorist and, like, the guy just ends up shooting him out of nowhere and you're not expecting it. It's like, "Holy shit, that
There's
was
4
fucking intense."
seasons.
There's 4 seasons. Okay, yeah.
And then Michael Pena is doing a spinoff
Yeah,
in
he's a great
development right
actor
now.
too. He's really
Is
good.
he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I might have some shit to binge.
Yeah, it's the 1st season at least was really good. I think
Yeah.
the 2nd season might have been good too, and then I think I fell off in the 3rd season. I don't remember for sure, but
I
I
was about
did
to go watch
enjoy the
The
1st
Wire
one. It's
again.
really good.
I was seriously considering The Wire again, but maybe I'll see what's up with that.
The Wire is so fucking good. It's so
Even the
fucking
second
good.
season.
Yeah. I thought all 4 seasons were good. I thought it was, like, one of the few shows that had a legitimate ending, where it wasn't
Yeah.
just
And
over.
that was one where, like, I wasn't happy with The Sopranos ending,
No.
and, like, this like, they led I think they did season 1 of The Wire following the last season of The Sopranos, so it was, like, HBO's big follow-up, and they did a good job with that. Um, yeah,
What was
it
that
it
show? I can't remember the name of it. It had that redheaded guy in it, and it had Claire Danes. It was a spy show where he was like a POW that kind of like switched sides, and then
Homeland.
Homeland. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, that it I may not have finished it
I
because, like,
didn't
how
either
many
because it
times
fell
can
off.
he come back? But also, the chick was on Colbert.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
then she's like, "Oh yeah, the CIA would come and have working sessions with us," and she's exposing how the CIA was pushing propaganda, and Colbert's like, "Oh, it's time for commercial."
Yeah. She's just
Yeah,
some airhead
yeah,
blonde and has
yep,
no idea what she's
yep,
saying. That was fucking hilarious. Did you ever watch 24?
yep. I did
24 was
that.
pretty good. I liked
I
24.
I
And that was
really
at a
liked
time where,
Alias.
like, I thought the CIA was good.
Yeah, I watched Alias, which did you ever watch
I
Alias?
haven't seen that one. I've heard it's good, though.
Oh, it's so fucking good, and it's like 120 episodes or
Oh,
something. So, like,
nice.
if you watch a couple, I think they're on Prime. If you watch a couple and you get into it, you have, like, a lot of content to watch.
Hell yeah.
And then I followed up Alias with 24. I bought the DVDs on eBay, actually, and it was, like, a disappointment
Oh, really? That's
comparatively,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, like, I remember liking 24. We used to watch that shit on TV
Yeah,
back when, like
it wasn't bad, but Alias was so fucking good. It was like every episode had the perfect hook cliffhanger to where I'm like, "Oh, shit, it's 7 in the morning. I have to get up in 2 hours. I was gonna go to bed at 2."
is it
Like
episodic or is it, like, a clear
it
storyline?
there's a clear storyline, but you can tune into an episode and be entertained. Maybe the first 3 episodes are a little slow, just laying groundwork, but man, especially since you like sci-fi shit, it like crosses it was coined as spy-fi, and
Ooh, interesting.
yeah,
So it's
and
like
it
high technology and shit like that.
high technology, and then they get into like ancient maybe not Da Vinci, but just for lack of a better term, like Da Vinci shit and
Yeah.
these old relics that
Oh, cool. I like
yeah,
that
yeah,
type of
yeah.
shit. I like it. I like
And
it.
on that note, I got to dip.
All right, man. It was a pleasure. Always good talking with you.
Always good.
All
I'll see
right.
y'all in a couple weeks
Yep.
probably.
Have a good night. Peace
All
out.
right, you too.